Welcome, guys. Hello, guys. My name is Solomon, but you can call me Soliaski. I've been trading the financial market for some time now, and now I decided to come out on YouTube to put on my basic knowledge on the market. Feel free to add anything or to correct me if I'm wrong on something or anything. So basically, let's get into it. I have my DXY. I basically, first of all, before I go into the market, I go onto my DXY to check out for my directional buyers. I use the DXY for the dollar. Okay, you can basically see what do we have here. The yellow line I use it to represent my demand zone. Demand zone. Why I use the green line, that's the green rectangle, to represent my supply zone. So what are we looking at here? On the daily time frame, we can basically see that markets are reacting to this demand zone, this daily demand zone that I have marked. We zoom down to the 4 hour, we can see basically look at the reaction. Look at why did I mark this zone as my supply zone. Basically, I mark this zone because I mark a supply and demand zone are basically the last candle before the aggressive move away. What is the aggressive move away? Look at the 4 hour candle. So you can see this basically this candle, this will I call it the hammer candle? You can't call this a hammer candle, like the doji candle. This looks like a doji candle. Look at why basically after that candle we have heavy falls from the market. And basically look at it. Price did what reacted to that zone and what basically started dropping. That is the for the US dollar. And I also have another zone here. This is a daily zone. I marked daily supply zone. If you go on, let's go into the daily supply zone. Why did I mark this one? This is the last candle before this gap was created. The last candle before the gap was created here. Basically, let me use my arrow. You can see the last candle before this gap was created. So basically, I'm looking forward to seeing price tap into that zone and what retrace back. But I think there are some brokers that allow trading DXY. Yeah, I think when I don't want to mention names, I don't want to promote anybody's firm, but I know there are basically some firms that trade DXY. I am a prop firm trader. At times, I try to trade my life funds, but my life funds are not huge enough, so I basically rely on prop firm where I can get huge capital and leverage with it and make few percentages and get my payout. If I don't get payout, if I lose the challenge, I know I can basically just try to do my line, save for more and get another account. So basically that is it on my DXY. Let's go to S&P 500. S&P 500 on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can basically say that we are on a bullish trend. We are on a bullish trend on the S&P 500. I don't trade the S&P 500 because it's very volatile. But I don't trade it. I use it for my directional bias to correlate because it correlates with what they call it NAS100. S&P 500 and NAS100 correlate together. You can see, look at the daily candle and look at what S&P 500 is doing. They are both almost looking the same way, but they are both bullish. Unlike the US30, look at what US30 is also doing. Yes, we'll come on to that. Let's start with the S&P 500. S&P 500, why did I mark this zone this way? So when I drop down to the 4 hour time frame, you can basically see that I had marked this zone. I had this zone where this is what my supply zone. My supply zone was tested. Look at it over here. It was tested. It was going in the direction I wanted it to go. But what the price did? Price later said, "Oh, come on, who are you? Get out of the way!" And it broke high, breaking high, making it turning this zone to a reclaim block. Why do I call this a reclaim block? Reclaim blocks are maybe other blocks you mark in the market that the price didn't hold on to. Maybe you have marked a zone or a supply another block and price basically just come into the other block and breaks out. Then later price is coming back. So I'm hoping to see price come back into this zone and buy off that zone. Come into this zone and buy off this zone. Oh, what is going on? Let's mark it again. Price come and buys. That's basically what I want to see. Now let's go to my NAS100. NAS100, what do I have here? What do I have on NAS100? NAS100, you can see I've marked several zones on my NAS100. When you look at the 4 hour time frame, you can see clearly we are in a bearish move, having a low. Let's trade on this. This is a 4 hour time frame. High, higher low. We have this high, it's equal highs. Then we have this low, this higher low. This low is higher than the previous low. We have this higher high. We have this higher low. We have this higher high. We have this higher low. We have this higher high. This high is higher than this high. We have this higher low. We have this higher high. So basically, you can see the market is in an uptrend. Basically, no argument about it. So now, what is it with all these my yellow zones that I've marked? These yellow zones. What are they? What are they? They are basically what my demand zone. I'm demanding price should tap into this zone. Then what? Keep going higher. And I've marked 3 different zones. I'm looking forward to seeing price to market. I've had this zone marked like a week or 2 weeks ago. and price basically ignored it over here. It did not come into that zone. It did not come into that zone before buying off. This is the 4 hour time frame, by the way. Let's zoom down to the 2 hour time frame. Let's zoom now. Let's go down to the 1 hour where I take my trades. Mostly take my trades on the 1 hour time frame. I'm not a swing trader. I'm a day trader, stroke intraday trader. So basically, I hold trades for a day or 2, 3 days. I don't swing trade. I don't know how to keep my cool. And even during my intraday trading, I just have to let you know this. I sometimes FOMO, fear of missing out, or fear, yeah, you can say that, because basically I don't want to be holding a position whereby I hold it for days, then later it eats me out, it takes me out, whereby I should have looked at other pairs and taken some trades. So basically, this is what I marked. I marked this zone. Why did I mark this zone as my supply zone, as my demand zone? You can see the last candle before the bullish, the aggressive buys. Look at it. You can see we have this zone move. This market price moved high, breaking this previous high, making what a break, creating a break of structure. Gave this low before what the final aggressive buys, the buys. And look at it, market was consolidating over here, just dancing around. And I want to see price tap into this first zone, and what gives me a confirmation I'm not going to be entering this trade on buy limit or sell limit. I want to see candlestick confirmation before I can go bullish or I can look elsewhere. I want to see this happen. Sorry, my chart is looking so uh, compressed with a lot of markings. I don't like it when my chart is looking nasty that way. So basically, this is not a financial advice. This is just for educational purpose, for educational what purpose only. So now, let's go on. You can see price has broken structure here. We have a break of structure here. Reverse. Break of structure here. We can also say we have another break of structure here. So we all know, we all agree that break of structure signifies market is continuing the trend. But here lies the case. This is what I can anticipate. The price can do whatever it wants. Price can still come this way, break this my zone, tap into this zone, come back to retest this zone, reclaim the zone, as I said earlier, and drop down. Should I see a scenario like this? Although I am still bullish on the market. Let's clear this off. Although I am still bullish on this market, I'm seeing bullishness. So here lies the case. You have to prepare to lose. That means your risk management should be in check, because I am looking into 3 different zones. This is my first zone, this is my second zone, and this is my extreme zone. This is my extreme zone. Price can basically just do what? Tap into this, break this my zone, come and tap into this second zone. This is my second demand zone. Come back to reclaim the zone. And if I should see candlestick confirmations, I use candlestick confirmations like the double top, double bottom, bullish engulfing candlesticks. Those basic, I believe we all know the basics. So just to go on with my bias and go on with my move back. First of all, before price can do this, price has to break this low first. Should it break this low and come back to retest, I know that no, this zone is not valid. Meaning I can say this zone is not valid. But we can also have a scenario whereby price can do what? Price can just come, break this zone, tap into this zone, tap into the trend line, and what? Continue bullish. The market can basically do that. So that is why I have these zones marked. These are zones I am looking forward to buy from, or take or react to. So they are basically my what? Point of interest. Let's go on to the next pair. I want this video to be as short as possible. Okay, let's go to the daily time frame. I always love to do my top-down analysis. Top-down analysis going to the higher time frame and breaking down to the lower time frame. What do we have here? We have what? A support and resistance zone. I have a support zone here that has not been tested, so it's still hanging. I'm still holding the support to see what price does. When I saw this break, I was hoping that the next day was going to be very bearish to come into this one, but what did it do? It just gave me a different vibes and it started buying. That's the market for you, my brother and sisters. Okay, now look at this resistance zone. Price has not gotten to my resistance zone yet, but onto my NAS100. Let me show you something. Price, you can see, price had already broken this resistance zone on NAS100. Price had what? Broken this resistance zone on NAS100. This is the daily time frame, by the way. But mind you, on US30, price is still what? In this zone, hasn't broken this resistance zone. So what am I still looking? Look at this daily candlestick. It was very massive. A massive candlestick like this is so beautiful. Okay, good. So now, what do we have here? We have what? My zone, my demand zone. I'm demand where I demand the price to come into. Looking forward to seeing the price come into before what? Continue bullishness. And mind you, we are on a bullish trend. Price should just tap into the zone and continue aggressive buys onto my resistance zone. That is what I'm basically looking forward to catching in this following week to see if price should respect it or not. Look at my trend line has been tested 3 times. One, two, let's use the let's mark it out. This graph, 1, 2, and 3 touch on my trend line. And mind you, the more touches on your trend line, the more strength it has. Yeah, let's say yes, that's it. So basically, I'm bullish on the market, and we can clearly see the break of structures being created. Why did I mark only that zone? Because that is where I'm more interested in. This one I've seen price has broken to the upside. Now I want to see what price drop down back into this zone and what gives us a bullish move. Let's go on to go to the king of them all. The king of them all. You can basically see some line on my screen. You can basically wonder what is this? Why is this guy having a lot of lines on his screen? So basically, they are just simple lines called a psychological line. They are how do I say? I mark my goal psychological line with 500 pips differentials. 500 pip differentials. How do I mean? Look at this zone. This is what 4,500. The next zone is what 4,550. The next one is what 4,600. Basically, I'm marking my zone 500 pips differential. And what does that mean? It also acts as a support and resistance for me in the markets. That is what I basically use it for. So what do I mean? Look at what price did. When price almost got to this zone, what price is this? This is 4,650. Price nearly got there, but it didn't get there. Then price what dropped, and price went back. Look at what it did. It reacted on that zone. That is resisting on this zone, and now it's dropping down. So basically, what am I looking for? I had this initial move. This is what my demand zone. I'm demanding price. Price came to tap into the demand zone, tapping into the trend line for the second time. I'm looking forward to seeing price still break. I'm more interested in the midpoint of this zone. I don't want to be caught up catching this zone from the neckline, but I'm still looking forward to seeing price dropping back to tap into my demand zone. From there, then I look forward to buy. So why am I having another yellow line, which is a demand zone on this low? So now let's zoom down to the 30 minutes time frame. The 30 minutes time frame, what do we have? I have another zone I mark. What is my zone? This is the demand zone. What is the demand zone? Demand zone, the supply and demand zone are basically the last candle before a bullish move or a bearish move, meaning where the price came, like where the price reacted, having bullishness, the last candle before aggressive moves that creates. You can see basically see, look at the gaps that was created. You can basically see that why this other yellow line, why are you not seeing bullish moves from it? That takes us to what the 1 hour time frame. You can see the last candle. Look at the last candle before this bullish aggressive move. So this move what created a change of character. Why do I have here? Why did I mark here as my change of character? Simple. You can basically see from the higher time frame. Okay, let's look from the higher time frame. You can basically see um, you can see we have high, low, we have a lower high. Look at it. It's reacting to the psychological line. A lower low, lower high, we have a lower low. We have now a high. We don't call this a high yet. Just call it a high. A high. Then or let's not use it that way in that scenario. Let's do this in this scenario. So because if I'm to use the 5 minute 15 minutes time frame, it will be you will see it well clear. We have this high, we have the low, we have this lower high, we have this lower low. Then we come here. Basically, look at here. We can take this as lower high. What comes after the lower high is supposed to be a lower low. But no, what did price do? Price gave us this low. This low now did what? Gave us a higher a high. This is not a high. It's a high. Why do I call this a high and not a high? Because price basically did what? Give us a low, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, gives us a lower high. This lower high basically, let's see something. Let me do this. Basically, if I mark my trend line goes alongside with it. Look, it responds to the bearish trend line, showing me what? Bearishness in the market. So this is a low. This is, we are starting from a low, a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. It is not a high yet. Then a low, a low. This is not a lower, a higher low. We use the word a low for it because it is now changing. Then we break here. We changed character. Price broke this zone also. I don't want to mark here as my change of character. I'm more interested on this zone. So now price did what? Price gave us this aggressive move to the upside. We're giving us a high, and now we have a higher low. This is a higher low, and now I call this my higher high. So now I'm looking for another low to come in. I don't want to. If I should, I can be price can basically do what? Break this previous low, this low, come into the zone, and what? Buy. It is. I am basically looking to do. This is a what? 1:4 point. 1 is to 4 RR trade. What am I looking for? I don't know, maybe I'm confused, you are understanding what I'm saying, but you can do well to leave a comment below in the comment section if you feel or you have a different bias, or if you don't have anything you understand. I will basically come back and answer you. So let's go on to the 30 minutes time frame. What do I look for? I'm also looking into this zone. Should price come into this zone and give me bullish confirmation as maybe a double bottom, bullish engulfing candle, I will be longing. Yes, I'll be longing. I'll be longing if I get any of that. Any of that. So basically, my limit should be here. I won't be setting limit on this trade because unless I get my confirmation before I can look forward to buy a good setup. So basically, that's it on this trade. So let's go to BTC. BTC, what has BTC been doing? Let's go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can see what is happening in BTC. We can all say BTC has had support here on this zone supported here, and now price is resisting on this zone. Which price? Let's go on to the forward time frame. The forward time frame, what does the forward time frame say? Look at it. Basically, we are resisting on this zone. BTC resisting on this zone. Look at what price is doing. Price is just buying and selling, buying and selling. That's not broken. But mind you, on the forward time frame, we can see the price is going bearish. Why do I say price is going bearish? Look at this. Let's take it further. Let's take from here. Let's take that as my low. This is my high. This is my lower low. And higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We have a higher low here. We have an equal high. We don't have, yeah, we both are the same. If you use your mark, your rectangle go to any to this mark, you can see that we're basically having two double top. What does it represent? Double top. The price did what? Price broke, giving us what? A low, and give us a dual high. Lower high, give us a lower low, give us this high again. Now give us another lower low before it's now moved to the upside. So now basically, let's pause it here. Basically, we'll return the call later. The call will come back again. I know. So now let's look into this. I had marked this zone, but I didn't take my trades from this zone because I was still bullish on this market. You can see what the market is basically doing. I'm still bullish in this market, still not ready to sell yet to start selling. What can price do? Price can do a lot of things. I'm marking a new zone. Okay, it has already been mitigated. This zone has been mitigated, so no need for it to look forward to this zone anymore. So what is price doing? What am I looking for in the market? Basically, I have my what? I have my supply zone. My supply zone, I mark my supply zone with green. Why my demand zone, I mark it with yellow. You can basically see it on NAS100. Look at it. Okay, now let's go to the DXY. DXY is basically showing this is my demand zone. This is my supply zone. I'm demanding price at that low to go higher. So let's go on. Let's continue on this video to be as short as possible. So now, what am I looking for in this market? Price is basically just giving me lows. It's looking for bearishness, looking to go bearish though. So I'm looking for price to break this zone, this support zone, this little support I have here, which I've been working with. Let's mark it. And also can be marked as my demand zone. I'm looking forward to seeing price break this zone before I can go all in. Right now, the volatility in the market is low because it's weekend. So why do I have this up, down, and up? What is this? I'm basically saying, should price break this resistance zone? I want to see a break and retest back into the zone before price moves up to the nearest resistance zone. What is the nearest resistance zone? You can basically see price at 84,180, 84,200 for BTC. So for the rest, Gemini 40, I am still testing the waters on Gemini 40. I have not yet mastered it. I'm still testing waters, testing my strategy. My strategy has been showing up, supply and demand zone has been showing up quite positive on Gemini 40, although I don't trade it. All these are just, I didn't take all these trades, just testing the zone. This is indices, volatility. Oh, I think I was making something. It just integrated into trading view, so I was also just like checking it out. I used to trade, I still trade indices, although but not as frequent anymore, but lost a lot of money on it. Trying to master it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy because you can't basically have a chart where you set your buy and set, where you can just set it and know that when you come back to see your same chart setup. Right, to clear off. But now that they're integrated into trading view, we hope everything will be fine. So I think basically that is it, guys. Guys, do well to subscribe and like the video. Leave your comments below. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know below in the comment section. Do as well to support. I think I'll be taking you guys through the my weekly trades to see how we go this week. Let me know what my trend line. That's it. trend line, bullish trend line on BTCUSD. So guys, that's it for now. So till we meet again. Bye guys.